Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.
Man, they are dancing in the streets of Miami, are they not? Welcome in a very happy Wednesday to you here. It's time to talk some NBA as the playoffs continue to roll on. Great night last night. We're looking to make it even more profitable tonight. And what a crew we've got for you here today as we welcome in from the streets of Dallas, Jay Money in the house. Teddy Covers here, as is Mr. Steve Merrill. Walked away from a 420 session to join us. It's always a pleasure to see you there, Steve. Jay Money, what is going on, my friend? Profitable evening last night. Caught your show, man. Great stuff. Tell the folks, if they haven't seen it, where they can find you and what's been going on so far with you in the playoffs.
Yeah, man, things have been going good, I must say, guys. I hate to pat myself on the back, but we've been running kind of hot here lately, man. I know 4-1 the last 5 for sure. So it's been going good. NBA Talk with Jay on YouTube. Just type Jay Money in, it'll come up. I have Teddy on the show. I've had Steve on there as well. We got to get Joe on there as well, especially pulling out the sunglasses. But we had a nice night last night with the Grizzlies. Went 2-1 on that game, man. So let's keep it going tonight.
Yeah, amen. Let's keep it rolling. Speaking of keeping it rolling, undefeated Teddy last night. I love those 2-0 sweeps, my man. Continuing to cash those tickets here in the association. Do you have anything ready for us here to go tonight at Wager Talk and/or Sports Memo?
Yeah, I mean, the NBA has been real good, dating back to February. That 40-13 the last 53 in the NBA. Here in the postseason, I'm on I've won 6 of my last 7 in the playoffs. So, I mean, it's just been steady, consistent winners. Last night, cashed with the Heat, cashed with the Pelicans. I have a single NBA best bet available for tonight. I also have a 5% big ticket play already up for tomorrow in NBA action, as well as MLB for this evening. So you can get all those plays right now at WagerTalk and/or sportsmemo.com. And Joe, I got to ask you, I never seen you with the shades and the hat crooked before. Mm-hmm. Is that because it's 420 on 420 or what's up?
Listen, man, you got to know the audience. I knew who was on here today, and the man coming in with shades, he's repping. It's repping Wednesday, baby. That's what we got here. So, and I'm holding a Miami in 5 ticket. So I'm anticipating at least a couple of more games there. Talk to me, Merrill. You've got nice call on Memphis, by the way, last night. You're continuing to dominate in the MLB. So what do you got in store for us here tonight at Wager Talk?
Yeah, it was actually the biggest and deepest card I'd had in April. 4 best bets last night, and we came close to the 4-0 sweep. Went 3-0, and then had I realized Scott Foster was officiating, we would have only made it a 3-game sweep. But Phoenix Suns, as you know, Joe, now 0-14 straight up. I'm sorry, Chris Paul's playoff teams are now 0-14 straight up. Scott Foster, and there's some Donaghy phone logs between him 15, 20 years ago, which I was looking at today. Some shady stuff going on. But anyway, that kept us from the 4-0 sweep. We'll take 3-1, 75%. And Red Hot Run continues with 3 best bets, baseball and NBA, a 3-pack. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com for Wednesday night.
You know, Teddy, we had gotten some comments in the chat room over the last couple of days, and nobody better to speak to this than you about the whole zigzag theory and how maybe one time, not too far distant, it was actually an extremely profitable situation, but maybe not so much anymore. What have you found with the whole zigzag opportunity in the playoffs?
Sure. Just let me explain the theory real quick for those of you that aren't familiar with it. The zigzag theory is very simple. You bet on the loser of the previous playoff game in their next game. So team A loses game 1, you bet on that team in game 2. They win game 2, you bet on the other team in game 3, and back and forth, zigzag, betting on the team that lost the previous game. The zigzag works very well in one instance, when the two teams are really well matched. That isn't often the case in the first round and isn't often the case in the postseason. This theory, if you bet it blindly in the 1990s, you made money. I did a study, had to be about 10 years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, to look at the aughts. If you were just betting the zigzag through the aughts. And if you bet it blindly, it was negative. Ralph Michaels just came out with a study where from 2014 through last year, where if you bet the zigzag theory blindly, you lost money. So you may be able to find spots where the zigzag is profitable, but blindly betting the loser of the previous game has not been profitable for the better part of the last 2 decades.
Yep, 3-3 so far in these playoffs here. So we'll see what happens moving forward. It's going to be interesting too. Also, totals split down the middle: 7 over, 7 under. And we'll see if that changes here tonight as we take a look at game number 1. How about them Brooklyn Nets? Oh, so close. Sorry about that. Boston laying 4 as an opening number with that total of 228.5. Steve Merrill, what do you think? Maybe a zigzag opportunity here for the Brooklyn Nets, or are you not buying it here?
Yeah, I find it ironic that you're asking about the zigzag on 420. I'll leave it at that. But Joe Raineri, Teddy, that's a trigger. I'm glad that the therapy is like that. Yeah. I'm glad that the therapy is working for Teddy, because zigzag is a trigger word for Teddy coverage, as we know, because he's right. It doesn't work blindly. But as Teddy knows, I use the modified zigzag, and in 420 you can use some modified zigzags as well. Joe Raineri, Jay Money,
yes.
Everyone else watching. But I'm glad you appreciated that. Don't forget to tip the bartenders. I'm here 5 to 10 every weeknight. But I'm working with quality teams, guys. Quality teams, and the question becomes: is Brooklyn a quality team? You know, normally a 7 seed from the play-in round against a 2 seed that just missed out on the 1 seed would not be exactly where the zigzag would work, but the Nets aren't your typical 7 seed, right? They're still one of the top 2 or 3 favorites to win this conference when the playoffs began. So I would expect them to bounce back here. And when you do use the zigzag, when you look to use it, is usually quality teams is rule 1. And another angle that has worked better than others is road dogs in game 2 over the years. So I think there's a couple things that check the boxes here. I think the zigzag probably works with Brooklyn tonight.
All right, leaning towards the Brooklyn Nets there. Jay, talk to us, man. 11-3 straight up for the home teams thus far here early on. Does that trend continue here? Another W for the Celtics tonight?
Man, I'll tell you, Joe, this is a tough series for me. I like to, especially in the playoffs, I like to be real selective and find my series where I like and I can find value. This is one where I feel like it's a toss-up. You see the first game as well, the Celtics were up double digits, and then the Nets come all the way back. Like, I could see this series continuing to go like that. And of the Nets, I'm kind of where I do lean the Nets. If I had a free bet, I'd be taking the points. You see Kyrie with added motivation and KD as well. And like I said, I still think they have a puncher's chance in this series. The Celtics still a younger team as well, still playing without Robert Williams III, their key defender and main center. So the Celtics have beat this team 4 straight times, 3 in the regular season, then obviously game 1. So I still want to lean the Nets here. I think they could keep it close, but I must say it's a toss-up game. And I also wouldn't be surprised to see the Celtics have a better game and win the game by double digits. So when I can see anything happen, I usually stay off the game. Sorry, guys.
All right, throwing up the Swiss flag early, Jay Money. Well, you know better than that.
Hey.
I know Teddy ain't throwing up no Swiss flag, but Teddy, take what we saw from the regular. There you go, Swiss miss his ass. That's what I'm talking about. Very nice, Robert. Very nice. Look at that. And Merrill's got the Swiss miss. You just got missed. Teddy,
Okay.
Regular season, I guess a lot of people believe you can throw out what you saw during the regular season, but what we've seen as of late, though, these teams are close. A last-second bucket. Are you just into taking whatever points you can in this series, or how do you approach it?
That's exactly what I want to do, Joe Raineri. I mean, you couldn't have said any better. I will not lay points in this series. I'm only taking points in this series. So with the games in Boston, I'm looking at Brooklyn, and the games in Brooklyn, I'm looking at Boston. And much of that has to do with the Nets' MO. I've talked about it many times on this show and on other shows. The Nets are like 2-21. The last 23 as home favorites. It's real easy to bet against the Nets in Brooklyn. But the flip side of that, the Nets haven't been a point spread disaster area down the stretch because they keep covering on the road, just like they did in Game 1. Game 1 ending was a perfect scenario for me. I had Brooklyn plus, and I didn't want overtime. I don't know, funny business. Just get this game over with. I don't care who gets a W. So I'm much more inclined to take points with Brooklyn. However, like Jay, I didn't play the Nets tonight, and I played them the other night. But I don't like taking underdogs off a game in which they shoot 54% from the floor, 46% from three-point range, 79% from the free throw. The only guy that missed free throws all night was Claxton, and still lost the game.
Still lost.
Because you ain't going to shoot better than that from any of those. You know, so maybe a slight lean to under, but it's the slightest a lean, and a lean to Brooklyn tonight. But I haven't pulled the trigger on either one.
All right, a lot of prop opportunities in this game, too, guys. We'll see. We'll see if these guys have any on their card a little bit later on. But we do have a second game here tonight. Only this one is a game 3 in Toronto as the Sixers traveling north of the border, taking on those Raptors. It opened up as a 2-point situation there for Philly. It's still hovering around that 1.5 and 2s. The total creeped up a little bit, 214.5. I'm seeing some 216.5s that are available. So talk to me here, Steve Merrill. Toronto, they have enough in the tank to be able to win their way back into this series?
Another reason why the zigzag probably stopped working as well after the 90s, like Teddy was talking about, is because odds makers always adjust, right? And when something starts working and everyone catches on, it's usually you're a little late to the party. You're late to the 420 party with the zigzag. And I will say this, one angle that's worked over the years and the odds makers have caught on to is teams down 0-2 normally play extremely well in Game 3 back at home, especially when they lose the first 2 on the road. We've had fun with this the last couple of years here on the show, Joe, about how the first half lines were actually higher last year in some games than the full game line for these situations. But this Philadelphia Raptors game is maybe a first for me. Once again, we have that situation, but we actually have Toronto favored by 1.5 in the first half, yet a 2-point dog in the overall game. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where a team is a favorite in the first half and then a dog overall in the game. I mean, it's probably happened, but I don't recall it. So they're obviously pricing in that Toronto starts fast here. We saw Toronto start fast and win the first quarter the other night in Game 2 shorthanded, and they still lost by double digits. We saw the Nuggets come out and win the first quarter and then lose by 20 still. So, teams that are coming off a bad showing or two normally do start fast. And by the way, the first quarter line is almost the same as the first half line. So the odds makers are basically telling you Toronto's going to start fast tonight and maybe dwindle. It might give us some opportunities for some in-game bets. Overall plays. I do think the Raptors bring their A game early on here. It's back in Toronto, back in Canada for the first time. So you just got to decide, you want to play them at +2 for the game, or do you give up some of that value and play them at -1.5 first half, or even -1, 1.5 first quarter? I would probably play Toronto -1 first quarter if you're going to start quick, and then you got some in-game opportunities after that, maybe to buy back on Philly.
Teddy, probably not great advice to say, hey, it's really good to lay points with an underdog in the first quarter or first half of games, but that's what the books are saying you should do here, or at least that's what they're offering up. So what do you think here, Teddy? How do you approach this one?
Well, it's a fascinating scenario when we're talking about the line, because I'm with you, Steve. I was racking my brain for when I've seen, and it's not a point. It's one thing if one team's -1 for the half and the other team's -1 for the game. This is -1.5 / +2. And that's as unique as it gets. Again, this is my 24th year in Las Vegas, and I don't recall seeing that ever before. So I know, Jay, you're a watcher. Joe, you're a watcher. Steve, sometimes you're a watcher. I watched the first 2 games of this series. What's Toronto going to do different in Toronto that they couldn't do in Philadelphia? Because I saw a class difference between these 2 teams, and it was pretty obvious, And there's no Thibault tonight. I get it. Gary Trent's supposed to be healthy tonight. I get it. Toronto beat Philly here in the regular season. I get it. But all that's rearview mirror right now. The 76ers are a team that's competing for a title. They know it. They're talking about the importance of closing out series and not playing extra games. So there's a sense of urgency in Philadelphia. And it's real clear. You look at these two teams, Philly's the better team, period. All right. So if I know Philly's coming to play and I expect Philly to bring the intensity tonight, -1.5, -2, the only way I can look.
No, the other problem too, Jay, we noticed here. I mean, if it could go wrong, it has gone wrong, is what it feels like here for the Raptors. But it's supposed to be when Embiid goes to the bench, that's when you're supposed to make up some points. That's when you're supposed to take advantage against it, and that ain't happening thus far here. So you have enough faith in Toronto to bounce back here and get a one in the win column.
Well, I have faith in the Raptors to come out with a sense of urgency. You see what I'm saying? So I did stay away from the full game here, and these guys are right. Teddy's right. The Sixers are the better team. They didn't mean it. Now they will have to show some balls. That they will show they've grown some balls over the past couple years and show that they can go up 3-0 because it's going to take a good effort. But they could get it done. But to see the Raptors not come out here with a better start, where they already came out with a better start in game 2 and showed you that they can come out. They were, saying, at least pissed off. So I see an even better start with the home crowd behind them as well. This almost kind of correlates to how I took the Grizzlies yesterday, obviously off of game 1 loss at the house. This is one where they get behind their home crowd as well. I'm not worried about who's not playing for the Sixers. This is all on the Raptors here, coming out with sense of urgency and desperate as well for a win. Like Nick Nurse said, we got to get one. We got it. So this is the season right here. You don't want to go down 3-0. So yeah, I'll ride with that. And just to go Ralph real quick, he sent us this teams in the first half since 2015 going down 0-2 when they're back at the house, 32-10-1 against the spread. That's good for 76%. So this is, I don't always take it the back home down 0-2, but what I think is somewhat of a at least close type of series or close line, like not necessarily like the Bulls and Bucks, but close one. Yeah, I'll take it pretty much every time and I'll ride with the results. Give me the Raptors here in the first half. I took it -0.5 this morning. I took -1 for the first half. And like I say, again, the books are telling you that there's a very good chance that the Raptors come out here red hot, even if they lose the game. The Raps for me.
Raps it is. Home court's actually been pretty good to them against those upper echelon teams, teams that win at a 60% clip this year. Once Toronto got them in their building, 8-4 straight up. So they're going to need that kind of performance here. In fact, the last team they beat in that situation was Philadelphia in Toronto. So we'll see if they can get that done again here tonight. And, of course, we got a game 2, though. Chicago taking on the Milwaukee Bucks, and raise your hand if you believe, good Lord, Milwaukee, you were lucky to be able to pull that one out there. Laying double digits as an opening number. I still see 10s. I am seeing a total right around pretty much 225, 224.5. So not a whole lot of movement, Teddy, one way or the other in this one. You trust Milwaukee to cover double digits here?
I'd rather be involved here with the total than the side. Game 1 stayed under by 50 points, and the adjustment I think it was 51. And again, it wasn't going way under till the fourth. The fourth quarter started out. It was 3-3 the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, or 5.5 minutes of the fourth quarter, and then turned an under into a way under. But we've seen a 5-point adjustment off a 50-point loser. All right. The series between these two teams, 4-1 to the under this year. In all 5 meetings played this year, the Bucks have won them all. 2 by 20 plus, 3 by single digits. But the Bulls averaging less than 100 points per games in those 5 meetings. And they've all been played in 2022. So there was nothing from like October, November that doesn't really, you say, oh, that was so far ago, it doesn't matter. Chicago the offense has not worked against Milwaukee. And I know, DeRozan and Vujovic and Levine combined 21-71, under 30% from the floor. We expect somewhat better shooting from that trio, but they haven't worked against Milwaukee all year. The 19% shooting from three-point range, 7-37 for the Bulls in game 1, was their worst shooting percentage since January, when they shot 18% in a game from three-point range against Milwaukee. Bucks defense works against the Bulls. Then you look at the other side of the equation, and you know me, I like to go to the quotes. DeMar DeRozan, quote, "We went out there and showed it defensively. Offensively, I guarantee you we're not going to shoot like we shot on Sunday. But games like this, you've got to be able to rely on your defense to give you an opportunity to win." think the Bulls bring it defensively. I think the Bucks bring it defensively. I think the 5-point adjustment for the total between game 1 and game 2 is not enough. I like the under in game 2 between the Bucks and the Bulls.
All right, leading the under. You saw the graphic there, guys. The old the quote: "No way in hell am I shooting 6 of 25 again," which means he'll go out and be 4 of 32. So, Jay Money, are you buying any Chicago stock here? Do you think they can hang and keep this close? First half, full game. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I like the Bulls. They took care of me in game 1. I actually had a kind of big play on the Bulls in game 1. They ended up covering it. It didn't look good at first, but they actually battled in there and showed, because it looked like it was going to be the same on Bulls, right, getting smacked up. And I'll tell you something that I really started to figure out over the past couple of years. When a team really owns you over the regular season, that first game is real big. It's big for your confidence, because it's going to be a quick series, or you're going to, like I say, drop your balls and say, hey, look, no, we're here. We're professionals as well. We can hang with you guys. So especially with this 10 point spread or whatever, there's still some room there for the Bulls to sneak in here, but lose the game by 5, 6, 7 points once again. So I've been fading the Bucks all season in these type of roles. I know it's the playoffs. I know that they're a top tier East team, but I don't think they're going back to back. And I don't know if they have. Giannis may have the same hunger, but I don't know if the rest of the team does. So I'm worried about the Bucks, and I'm worried about. I probably won't be laying double digits that one time. So it's Bulls or nothing for me. And there's a heavy lean to Bulls. Put it that way.
Yeah, it's Steve, watching that first game, it reminded me a lot of the series against Miami to start last year. Because how Miami lost that first game, I have no idea, because the Bucks were absolutely horrific, but they ended up getting the win, much like they just did against the Bulls. 21 turnovers, 26% from 3, 60% from the free throw line, and then the rest is history here. I got a big feeling that history repeats, and maybe it's just a Budenholzer thing. Maybe this is his strategy early on. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, once again, in games 2, the zigzag usually works a little bit better than others, especially big dogs. Double-digit dogs in game 2 over the decades have made money, but it's hard to really make a case for Chicago otherwise. As you said, Joe, I mean, Milwaukee couldn't have shot any worse, played any worse. 21 turnovers, 40% from the field. They still won by 7, almost covered still, not only won. And Chicago is now 1-11 straight up against the Bucks the last 3 years. They're 0-5 straight up this year. The matchups just don't work for them. And in the 4 regular season meetings, there was really nothing misleading about those wins. In fact, Milwaukee only outshot the Bulls by better than 3% from three-point range in one of those 4 games. They still won all 4. So there was really nothing fluky. With that said, though, I do think there's a little bit of wiggle room for Chicago to stay within the plus 10. So I would lean that way on the side. Milwaukee, as Jay said, does have a tendency to kind of take games off, looking more at the big picture. My concern, though, is the fact they didn't play well in game 1. So I'm not so sure they will overlook this game for that reason. But if I'm going to play the side, I'd rather have the plus 10. I don't think the Bulls win it, but they can maybe stay within single digits.
Thank goodness for Brooke Lopez.
Joe,
yeah,
Joe,
go ahead,
just
Jay,
real
go.
quick. I just want to say the Bucks were hungry last year, and they had playoff revenge versus the Heat as well. That's why they swept them. So it's a little bit different, and it just psychologically it's different when you own a team. Steve just said it. They own the Bulls. They feel like this is easy, and then the Bulls feel like on the other end they're playing revenge. I feel like they're the little bit more motivated team getting plus 10. Like I said, I didn't play it, guys, but it's still Bulls or none for. I don't trust the Bucks laying 10 when they're cool with winning by one point and getting out of there. So sorry, I had to say that.
No, listen, they showed us that they can suck and still beat you with their C game as opposed to their A game. So that's especially for a full game. So that's going to be the question here tonight. Do they come out firing? Do they let the Bulls hang around? A lot of different ways to approach that game here, guys, and all 3 games here tonight. So now it is time to see which one of these games, what play these guys might like a little bit more than the rest on the card here tonight. So, Merrill, kick us off here, man. 60 seconds on the clock. Give us a lot of math. Come on, man. You got it. Where are we going here tonight on 420?
Math was simple, 75%/100%. We were 3-1, 75% last night on Tuesday. Had I known Scott Foster was repping Chris Paul, we would have been 100% because I would have left that Suns game off. We would have finished 3-0 instead of 3-1, but still a nice night. I've got 3 strong plays tonight on Wednesday, baseball and basketball. I've got the first 2 NBA games, a side and a total in the first 2 games. I'm going to get to the free play in the late game here in a moment. Just a quick reminder, it's a great time to get an all-sports subscription. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, baseball, basketball, red hot, and also have a free baseball play on my page right now at WagerTalk.com. Let's look at that free NBA play in the late game. We'll take the Chicago Bulls plus 10. I'm a little concerned that the Bucks had a bad performance, still won by 7. Maybe they come focused here, but they've beaten Chicago 5 straight this season. They've got bigger things on deck. They're going to win this game, but I don't think they win by double digits. I like the fact Chicago started playing defense. They'd allowed 48% or worse in 7 straight games to finish the regular season, and they held Milwaukee to 40. Good defensive game keeps the 10-point dog close. Chicago Bulls plus 10 in the late game.
Ooh! All right, back in the Bulls. Brave man, that Merrill. How about you, Teddy? Come on, 60 seconds. I know you got best bets up at WagerTalk and/or sportsmemo.com for actually the next couple of nights, I believe. So tell me what you got for us here tonight.
Yeah, I got a single best bet available in the association. If you watch this show, you'll probably be able to tell what that best bet is. But if you didn't, it's okay. To get on board over at WagerTalk and/or sportsmemo.com. I do have a 5% big ticket play up for tomorrow night's action, game 3 action. The 5% big ticket's now 12-1 with my last 13, 37-13 with my last 50. And the NBA's just been rolling, guys. I mean, it's 40-13, another 2-0 sweep last night. What do I got? I don't want to say it wrong. I think it's 77-38 all sports runs since February. So we're making money right now. We talked about Bucks Bulls under, and I'm going to go with the Bucks Bulls under 225 as my best bet. Chicago averaging less than 100 points per game this year against Milwaukee. Their 2 worst 3-point shooting games all year came against the Bucks. It's not like the Bucks offense is clicking, and Chicago's quotes all talking about defense. Bet under.
Boom! Bet the under. Love it. All right, J Money. They are going to be dancing in the streets of some city here tonight. So which street will be dancing tonight, my friend?
Yeah, if I could put my green screen behind me, we'd be in the streets of Toronto right now. I'd be in Scotiabank Arena right now. You see what I'm saying? But we got the regular background. But I always want to say, man, go check me out on YouTube, NBA Talk with J Money. Check us out, free picks every single day, going all the way to NFL season, man. We have great guys on there like Steve, Teddy. We had Kelly in Vegas on there today, Ski Profit. So everybody, man, Marco, Ralph Michaels, everybody, guys, come and check us out on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter as well at J Money's Money. Tonight, we're going to the 6 over there with Drake and the Raptors. Them, you see what I'm saying? They're down 0-2, desperation spot. I see these guys coming out with a sense of urgency. They can't go down 0-3. Obviously, the series is over. So I think you're going to see a huge sense of urgency coming out first quarter, first half, minus a half or -1 for the first quarter, -1.5 for the first half. I don't think it'll matter. Give me the Raptors. We're playing Drake songs all night, my guys. Let's get some cash.
That's some soft-ass shit right there, J Money. My Lord.
Hey,
All
long as I
let's see
can.
Drake. Come on, damn it. Oh, please.
I'm just trying to
let's-
win, man.
Please don't be quoting Drake. All right, let's see what we got here, guys. Because there's no better time than right now for a John Ryan angle of the day. We love our buddy John Ryan over at sportsmemo.com. We want to thank him, of course, for hanging with us all season long. But his betting angle for today is he wants to look at the over, especially if a team has scored 90 or fewer points in their previous game. And if the favorite allowed 90 or fewer points in their previous game, well, then 25-13 for a 65-66% over the last 20 playoff seasons. Oh, yeah, and if you have 2 days of rest between the games, 12-3 to the over. That is a 75% winning percentage. The end of the day, that's where we want to go. The over here, Bulls and the Bucks. And we want to thank John Ryan very much there. You can catch him and, of course, Teddy Covers at sportsmemo.com. You can visit them there. Steve Merrill, of course, over at WagerTalk.com. And Jay, before we get you out of here, too, tell me again, for the fine folks that have not had an opportunity to catch your show there on YouTube. I know you had Teddy. I know you had Kelly. Talk to us here.
Yeah, NBA Talk with Jay on YouTube, guys. Any chance, or you just follow me on Twitter. I'm always posting a link to the show as well. Most of the time going live 7 days a week.
All right, boom. All right, real quick. Also, I'll go around the horn here. Teddy, anything that you have seen right now that makes you say, wow, we might have underestimated a team in the futures market? Any drastic changes of opinion through these first couple of games?
Drastic change of opinion, no. But, my 5% big ticket play tomorrow was on a team that I thought was undervalued in the marketplace. Ooh. And through 2 games, I still think they're undervalued in the marketplace. So, but in terms of like a drastic opinion change, something that's really surprised me this postseason.
Still Phoenix, even with listen,
the Nuggets, Phoenix is... The Nuggets being non-competitive has surprised me a little bit. I thought Denver would at least be able to hang around a little bit. So I guess that's the biggest surprise for me so far. But Golden State with Green and Curry, they're good.
Yeah, that new depth lineup there, Merrill, certainly gaining a whole lot of headlines here. But wait until they play a team that can actually play perimeter defense. How about you, Merrill? Anything that strikes you at maybe a little bit different than before the playoffs started here?
Well, I think we're on a collision course for the Suns and Warriors conference finals, right? They're going to have to play either Memphis or Minnesota. I was very surprised actually that Memphis was so bad in game 1. I liked them a lot last night, as you mentioned, had the best bet on them. So we'll see how that series plays out. But it's looking like Suns or Warriors out of the West. And your Heat have looked okay. I think Trae Young and company is always dangerous as an 8 seed, but Miami's getting business done in a very competitive Eastern Conference. But nothing out of the ordinary. I would agree with Teddy. The Nuggets being so non-competitive probably be my big takeaway. But maybe the Warriors are a little bit better than we realize right now with that lineup.
Yeah, and Jay, your Dallas team, no Doncic, no problem here, man. You any change of opinion for you from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, no, I still don't trust the Jazz, but I have to agree with these guys as well. Nuggets have been the biggest disappointment, but I know going down 0-2 is hard to come back from it. It's not necessarily the end of the world. I'm not saying they're going to win game 3 or game 4, but even though they've looked so bad, they still have a couple of games at the house and can make it another series. So I always say I'm not really quick to give up on a team even though they're down 0-2. It's kind of what you're supposed to do. You're kind of supposed to lose both of those. Obviously, sometimes you're going to win the series. You're not supposed to. I don't know. We could go into it all day, but Mavs still win this series, man. The Jazz can't fuck with us.
Look at nothing but spots to fade Utah here. All right, guys, a recap one more time. J Money looking Raptors. First quarter, laid the point, and hell, first half while you're at it. Lay the point here tonight against the Sixers. Teddy, he likes the under tonight. Bulls, Bucks. That is how he is leaning in that one. While Steve Merrill, he don't mind the 10 points. He's going to grab them there. Bulls, Bucks tonight. You heard him tell you, Steve Merrill and Teddy Covers both have best bets. Did you hear the tease, guys? Teddy mentioned a big 5% play available right now for tomorrow night. Yeah, I caught that, guys. You can head over to WagerTalk.com, grab that, and or SportsMemo.com. And, of course, make sure you check out J Money and his podcast, guys, on YouTube. Always great talking NBA with him. Jay, we appreciate it, man. Thank you very much for taking time today. Teddy, Steve Merrill, guys, hit the bell in the upper right-hand corner. Enjoy your 420. More importantly, let's make it a very profitable evening here, guys. We'll be back again tomorrow, getting set for even more NBA action. Till then, best of luck with your plays tonight, guys. We'll talk to you again soon.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.